Look.
Listen.
Oh, God.
And welcome to this very hostile introduction of Look, Listen with Geese and Guyera. I'm
Don't
Geese.
worry, we're going to argue. Michael, Aaron, and Tom, it's response
Hi.
message. Oh, my God.
Hello.
Hello. So it is myself and Aaron here, and we talk about movie series.
It's
Hello.
the crossover of the century. Geese Peep Industries presents the response message, Look, Listen crossover event. We are very lucky to have Tom and Aaron from Response Message to join us today in this very special event. Where we're talking about the Pokemon film, Pokémon the Movie, I Choose You. And in Japanese, Guyera,
Oh, would you like me to say the name?
yeah.
Let me go ahead and read this Japanese text here. Kimi
1 second.
Kimeta. I'm very excited. Yes, it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to get together. Very exciting. But Geese is correct. It's got to be a hostile beginning because I'm telling you right now, the Dongle's apples are way better than these grocery store disgusting smelling apples. They taste okay. They smelled so bad.
That's because you got pre-sliced apples. It takes like no effort to grab an apple and just like take a honking big bite out of it, and it's better.
Tom, I tried it once. I wasn't a fan. But these little apples.
Wait, you told me you tried apples once and we're like, never again.
For a recording, Tom, not for real time. I can enjoy an apple, but did you not watch Dennis the Menace? Look how cool he was slicing his apple with the knife.
Like,
yeah, that was very cool.
Christopher Lloyd.
This is an actual like question. Do you own a like chef's knife or like a knife that could cut an apple?
I'm sure Taylor does.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. But knives scare me. I don't like knives. I don't like seeing them or thinking about them.
I only have like 3 scars from knives. They're
Jesus,
fine.
Tom, no.
That's over
Okay.
30 years. That's like 1 scar every 10 years.
Aaron, did you perhaps watch something since we spoke?
I sure did, and I put it in some kind of a document that I don't have in front of me, and
Oh!
maybe you can remind me what I put in that document.
We could
Yes.
send you a link.
I sent you
We'll
the
start
link.
from right
in
here.
this-
All right, so for me, the things that I've been watching and playing, eating, doing, smelling, tasting. Speaking of Judgment, I've been playing that on stream. Oh, no, wait, that was Tom. I've been watching...
My name's Geese, and I ate Thai curry.
This is never going to get onto the rails, Guyera. You wanted this,
Nope.
and it's happening, Michael. All right, so I actually have been watching Andor, the new Star Trek television program. Just
I
kidding,
believe it's Star Wars myself.
Yeah.
No, wait, Aaron, I've been watching Andor. But you
I've
got
been
Really?
watching
yourself
Andor.
confused with me again.
Whoa.
Coincidence, yeah.
Well,
I
okay,
like-
hold on.
Okay,
Let me
yeah, you
interrupt
just
you.
have. I'm done.
He's
Bye,
waiting
everybody.
till
Good night.
Let me wait till 3 people are talking, then I'll...
At
Tell
the very
us
start
about
of
your
Andor.
thoughts on Andor.
It's a good show. I like it.
I like how everyone in the galaxy agreed at some point that they're only going to wear earth tones.
You know, hey, sometimes you got to camouflage yourself from the enemies.
So everyone's just wearing the same kind of clothing?
I bet if you go to Naboo, they're wearing fancy clothes.
Yeah, you're just seeing a slice of the Empire. Also,
Those
you're
Rogue
seeing
One
corpos and military folks.
Since we all watched Andor, why don't we have a little mini Andor discussion?
Okay.
Sounds
Does that make
good.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Tom?
I love it. It's probably my favorite Disney-made Star Wars thing. It's the first Star Wars thing where people talk like people and not George Lucas robots.
George Lopez robots.
Yep. It's really good. The cliche right now is like saying like it's bringing Star Wars to the adults.
Like, it's a good show and it's good on its own, and like it doesn't rely on being Star Wars. Kind of like what Tom said about not a lot of fan service in terms of its like quality and its the story it's kind of telling.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You could pull most of the Star Wars elements out of this and it would stand on its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good story. It's a good, even like the settings and characters, it doesn't fall into the trap, at least so far. We're 4 episodes in, but we'll see, of rebels versus, like, there are rebels, but like it's rebels versus Empire, it's Jedi, it's mystical forces, and it's like, no, let's just tell a small scale story in this universe lower stakes. I'm digging it so far. It's quite nice.
I'm enjoying that. Like Andor, like really did not stick out to me in Rogue One, but because he's a blank slate, they can give him more of that characterization. And it's like, hey, you're from like a planet that was like really messed up by the Empire.
I enjoy the Empire employees. Their little subplots are interesting.
Yes, yeah, the infighting, the politicking, yeah,
something we've
corpos.
Not really ever seen before.
Yes, not too much. There's been like hints of it in other things, but it's a fleeting, sentence in a 2.5 hour movie where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I like the guy who does the little timekeeping gong thing, like instrument.
Yeah,
oh, he's sick.
That guy's fun. He really gets into it. It's like his morning yoga.
I saw Barbarian. It was good. Could have been really good with some restructuring, I think.
It's just it's a very unique film, and it surprises you. I should say that. It surprises you, and people should go support it.
Yeah. Just go blindly on our word that it's a good thing.
It's not just us saying it. A lot of people are saying go see Barbarian. It is a horror film, and it is unique, and you should always support things that are unique.
The other kind of similar but very different thing I've been watching is For All Mankind. That is alternate history Apollo, written and created by Ronald D. Moore of Star Trek The Next Generation. So this show is, if you've ever seen or heard of like Man in the High Castle or Tower.
It's a good show.
Castle.
Man in the High Castle.
High Castle. It's kind of similar to that, where it's like, let's follow the timeline, but like, let's explore if, thing B happened. So this entire show's premise is, what if the Russians beat the United States to the moon, right? Great premise. A lot of fun stuff in there. I just started season 3. I've been watching it quite a bit. I like it, but I don't like it. I like alternate history stuff. I like the science stuff. I like that kind of thing, but there's just so much character drama and soap opera style things in there that are completely unnecessary and I don't want. And they're taking over the show, and I'm just getting very bored of it. It's the same characters over 3 decades, where it's like, this man is 60. I'm gonna send him to Mars.
What?
That's too bad. I really like that kind of thing.
They're gonna send Joel Kinnaman to Mars?
They're some old someone, or he was there in the 60s and he was like 30. So like 30 years later, it's like, no, they're not gonna send Grandpa to Mars. They're sending, the kid crew. But
kid crew.
There's enough there that I'll keep watching it, but I really like, I get it. I get that you have to have like drama and whatever, I guess, but I don't know. It's entertaining and disappointing at the same time, and I think that's kind of why I want to keep watching it. I just want to see how it's like, how they're gonna mess this up even more. So that's all right.
You gotta have stakes.
Delicious.
Well, the stakes are there. It's just all the lame like romance and like I don't have a problem with like romance and stories, but it's just so ham-fisted and like soap operatic. Not for me, that kind of stuff.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want my nerd show without any emotions or people who have normal feelings. I just want them all to be competent, do their jobs well, and handle problems.
Perfect.
Well, do I have the story for you?
Ooh, do you, Tom? What story is that?
Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
The animated series?
No, I just was trying like something close enough to TNG where like
Yeah.
And people are like, Jedi are competent, kind of, and they have no emotions.
They're no emotions. I wouldn't call them competent.
No, the Jedi kind of suck. They let the Empire like take them over and then kill them all.
Yeah. I mean, you can't call them competent when they let that happen, Guyera.
They abduct children to make them into soldiers so they can eventually be generals.
Yeah, they had a
welcome to the Jedi Conspiracy Cast with Tom and Aaron. We're going to get down and deep.
Here's what I watched lately. Also, Andor and She-Hulk. She-Hulk's fine. It's better than Falcon Winter Soldier. I'll give it that. I also watched the film Sound of Metal. I did not know what that movie was about. I thought it was a horror movie, but it was just released on 4K Blu-ray, and that is a very, very good film. And are any of you familiar with the plot of that movie?
Nope.
A little bit.
I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it involves the idea of losing a sense. So my entire life, I've always said that I would much prefer to be deaf than blind, And I was always surprised because my aunt said 100% of the time she would rather be blind because music is so important to her. Watching this movie, I really started thinking about that quandary more because if I went deaf, this would all be over. I would never be able to communicate with any of you the same way again. I could still play video games, but I would lose the ability to have conversation in a very natural, easy way. If I was deaf, outside of, writing or meeting people who use sign language or something. And music is good. I guess the question is, do I care more about music or watching TV shows and playing video games? I think I'd still rather be deaf than blind, especially when I have to use the restroom.
Not a bad point.
I also watched 6 hours of a review about a video game called Boku no Natsuyasumi, and my life has
Tim
changed
Rogers
forever
video.
now. Yeah, this Tim Rogers guy has changed my life entirely. He's
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth. I don't know how to feel about him, but I know he's changed my life forever. I've also watched House of Dragon. Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
that's some good House of the Dragon.
I was hesitant about the cast changes, recasting they had to do, but now I completely am on board with it because clearly for the situations they're going through would not work with the original actors. I'm fine with it.
Is it recasting because like they're a jump in age, or is it recasting
Yes.
because okay?
Time jump.
So it's a Netflix The Queen situation.
Sure.
I think we're all deeply, intimately familiar with
None
that.
of you guys,
We
none of
will
you guys
clearly
watched
say yes.
The Queen. Matt
No.
Smith is also in that.
I saw a little clip on social media of it. Hey, Geese, did you play any video games for the whole weekend?
I did. Now here's the thing. Fortnite was down yesterday, and it was very hard for us gamers who play Fortnite every night. It was so hard, in fact, that me and some fellow friends had to roleplay playing Fortnite
What?
just to
I missed this.
satisfy. Yeah, you did miss this. Me, Idol Songs, and Keith Squared had a little moment. We were like, let's just roleplay Fortnite. And then we played some Fortnite ripoffs made by children on the internet that were
So
just
good.
awful. But yes, Fortnite is back. They have new guns. The Cobra DMR is very good, in my opinion.
That's a
And
ranged scoped weapon.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Another video game I've been playing is this idle mobile game called Cats and Soup, where you have cats that make soup. And it's mostly ads, but I did end up streaming it twice in the past 4 days. So I'm now a pro Twitch streamer, and you can follow me at twitch.tv/geesebeep.
Yep. She's got it down already, folks. Half her content is ads.
Perfect.
Yep.
But they're not paying her for them.
Wow, they're paying her in little kitty soup bucks or whatever they call them. Tom, what video games played?
I've been playing with my girlfriend. I've been playing It Takes Two.
Great game.
Which is a very fun game. We are having a good time with that. I enjoy that they're switching up the gameplay pretty much every single level. There's something new to do. It's like, oh, it's a dungeon crawler. Oh, you're like flying on a fidget spinner. You're in your daughter's bedroom, and then like the characters are just gonna argue because it's like, hey, they're getting divorced. So
the puzzles and activities are good enough for a Zelda game. Very fun to play.
I don't know if it's good enough for a Zelda game. I'm having a lot of fun. But it's also like, because I am playing with my girlfriend who I really like, and I think that elevates the experience for me. It's like who you play it with matters a lot. I have a fifth guest now. His name is Taco.
Taco's adorable. He's a Maine Coon cat, and he looks like a Disney character.
Aww.
That is accurate. Aaron, would you like to speak about Potion Permit?
Potion Permit is I would call it like a Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley-ish, but instead of farming, you are gathering and creating potions and healing people. It's shallow. I was very much hooked and into it for the first maybe 3-4 hours, but at that point you hit kind of not a wall, but you just kind of hit a realization of like, oh, there isn't too much more here. There are novel things, there are things that are fun. Making potions is a nice fun little puzzle, but it doesn't really there is no difficulty curve on it, not much of one. You're collecting things every day, you're talking to people every day, but the dialogue and the responses aren't very rewarding. They don't feel very fulfilling. There's romance,
So the response
but
messages aren't very good.
no, they're not. And the romance isn't that great either. You can like, I don't know, there's really not much reward to it, right? Like that's kind of a lot of it. Like you go down these little paths and you expect something there, and it's just kind of the path is done. So there's a lot of potential there. I don't know. It's a full release, so I wouldn't really recommend it, but I don't know if they could pull off some kind of like No Man's Sky miracle and add a bunch of stuff. But as it is right now, I don't know, maybe if it comes to Game Pass, give it a try, check it out. But I couldn't really recommend spending money on it at the moment.
So 2 pumpkins out of 5 or 1 pumpkin?
I mean, because it costs money too, but if it were like on Game Pass, I'd give it a 3, worth like 3-4 hours of your time. So
better than I thought.
Yeah.
For how like into it you were at the beginning and hearing your tone change on it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like, it's great. Like there's good, like it's good, but it's shallow. Like you see everything in 3 hours and then you're like, okay,
So it's kind of like fast food.
Delicious.
Maybe a little bit. Very delicious at the start.
But then
not really
does
too
not
much
hold
to
up
it.
for
No.
more
Then
than
you're
like
hungry
a
an
couple
hour later.
So I played, like every week, tons of Pokemon Go and Fortnite. But this week, finally, I played a bunch of other games. Let me rip through them real quick. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Shin-Chan, Me and the Professor in Summer Vacation, The Endless 7-Day Journey, Attack of the Friday Monsters. This is all Tim Rogers' fault because these games are made by the same developer as Boku no Yatsumi, Millennium Kitchen. They also made Shin-Chan and Attack of the Friday Monsters. I can't stop. Very few games were released in the West by Millennium Kitchen. That's all of them. I just said them, both. So I have to buy these games to send a message for the rest to be sent over here. So I'm very big on playing these relaxing Japanese 1970s simulation, catching bugs, and listening to people speak Japanese simulators.
What platforms were these on?
3DS for Attack of the Friday Monsters. And the 3D is really good. It's too bad because trying to play it last night, I realized, the 3D on 3DS gives me a headache. Sick.
Uh-oh.
That didn't used to be the case, but as you get older.
And
so I'm playing it in 2D.
So old.
I'm not so old, barely. Just a little older
He's
than
60
you.
years old. We have to send him to Mars now.
Straight to Mars.
Callback.
Like I said, Tim Rogers is taking over my life entirely and completely.
Should I pay $5 so that one of my cats can ride a scooter?
No.
Yes.
What, in Cats and Soup?
Yeah.
No, Geese.
You said yesterday that you were already over it.
You're already over. You're already over.
No.
No, Geese, don't get excited about Cats and Soup. But speaking of soup, let's talk about what we ate. I went to Little Tokyo and I ate some delicious Daikukuya vegan sesame ramen, and I added a ramen egg, and I added a chicken chashu, and I ate Geese. There's this thing called tamago pan, which is this egg bread. It's so good that I ate all of it immediately and then went back to Little Tokyo 2 days later to buy some more. It's unbelievable, and it says it's good with coffee, so it's a good thing I drink a bunch of coffee. And I ate some plum onigiri and some kelp and seaweed onigiri and some meron pan and some coffee jelly, and it's very, very delicious.
I have 2 questions for you, Guyera.
Yes, Geese, what are the questions you have for me?
First question, where did you get this bread? Like, was it at a Japanese grocery store?
That is accurate.
What was the name of it?
It's called, there's like 2 grocery stores over there. This one is called, that's a Coco Ichiban receipt. I was hoping to find the actual receipt. It's called like Miyazaki. Actually, hold on. I can just look on Discord because I photographed
Is it in a poison swamp if it's called Miyazaki's?
No, it's not me. It's like Mija. Hontoni.
I only asked because I'm wondering if it's like a chain. There was a Japanese grocery chain I went to a lot when I was in London. So just curious.
Well, what's funny is they have Don Quixote signage everywhere, which Tom knows from playing Judgment.
And all the other Yakuza games besides
And
4,
all the
5,
other
and
Yakuza
6.
games. 5 and 6.
My second question, which is actually a statement, is I guess that's a question. How can you stand the plum onigiri? I think it tastes like vombus.
Geese.
Tastes
I
like
mean,
what
that
vombus
plum-
tastes like.
No. The plum is sort of, I guess, an acquired taste because it's very sour. So it's like a but it's supposed to be good if it's hot
Yeah,
outside.
it tastes like what you taste when you vombus.
No, Geese.
One day, Aaron and I will go to Japan.
Yes,
One
it will
day.
happen.
Would anybody else like to talk about the food they ate while I'm still somehow searching for the name of this place that I should know?
Tom, you go ahead.
So I went to this really good bakery down in Seattle in the Fremont neighborhood. It's called Sea Wolf, and it like bakeries where like a lot of like high end restaurants will get all their like bread from. One of those places you go out on Sunday morning and there's a line out of this. There's like a hipster line that's like a little too long, but the line's moving just fast enough where you're like, I'll stand in this line and like get this food. And so we got 2 savory croissants, which had like this kind of like Parmesan artichoke thing in the middle with some corn. And then we got a giant cinnamon roll, just a cinnamon roll that was like bigger than my fist, like almost my 2 fists put together. But yeah, so if you're ever in Seattle, Seawolf's Bakery, 1 to 2 thumbs up.
Ooh. Geese, it was called Marukai Market is the answer to the question.
Yeah, that wasn't the chain that I went to.
Did Aaron eat any food?
Well, Aaron and I can
Guyera,
talk about it.
Okay. Do you just want to be me for this podcast? Or can I just mute and go take a nap? Or
And I'm going to, whatever Tom wants to say, I'll just say for him. So it'll be perfect.
I was just going to say that we can talk about it together because we eat together. Aaron and I probably ate the same things, but Aaron, go ahead.
no, you start. I know mine's very short.
Well, starting chronologically, last Wednesday, Aaron and I went to a beer garden / dog park
The Boneyard.
The
Where we
boneyard.
played trivia, and they had like a food truck, and we had
Mhm.
very good pad thai and very good
Yes.
pretzels.
Very good soft
And-
pretzels.
What did we do, Aaron?
We played trivia.
And
we won trivia.
We won trivia, just the 2 of us, and there were teams of like 6 people.
We were
Wow.
proud. We were proud.
And then we also got pad thai, which wasn't as good as the pad thai we had at trivia, at the Fall Fest we went to at a nearby town.
Immediately
There
after
was-
eating that pad thai, you got 100-degree fever.
Yeah, so there was a petting zoo, and there
she
was
got goat fever.
there was a strange looking goose that honked at me 3 times, and
Very
I'm
loudly.
convinced that goose gave me a fever, cursed me, and we were walking towards the car, and the rate at which I quickly became sick was alarming. Like, by the time we got home, I was shaking. Like, truly, I do not know. I still don't know what happened. I'm like, why I got a fever.
Because, I mean, geese, it's transmissible between wild geese
Yeah.
and geese peep.
Were they just
It
like
makes sense to me.
mad? Were they mad at you for stealing their brand?
I don't know. But it was so odd because I was watching it waddle.
disease.
And then we just got to like the pen, and it just stopped and just loudly honks at us, like directly at
Mhm.
us.
We were the quietest people at that petting zoo. There were just children screaming and running around and trying to grab animals.
Yeah, there was like a little girl like just like harassing all the ducks. It was just like,
Yeah.
oy.
All right, Clambos, you know what time it is now. Everybody's favorite segment of the week, Pokin' News of the Week. And this is actually a very exciting week because we have a new Pokemon revealed, and his name is Wiglet. I assume you've all watched the video, and if not, you can click on the little dock and watch Wiglet go. Clambos, Wiglet is what is known as a convergent evolution, which makes it different from a regional variation. For you see, a regional variant is when a Pokemon moves to a new area and adjusts to its climate, or what have you. A convergent evolution is a Pokemon that is unrelated to, in this case, Diglett, but since it was near Diglett in a similar area, they kind of look similar.
I'm just gonna stop you right there in Gyra and point out that convergent evolution is a real thing, and it happens when two species occupy the same ecological niche and in the same ecological environment so that they evolve to look very similar. One example is a armadillo and a pangolin. Or pangolin? Wait, pangolin?
Pangolin with a G.
Pangolin. Yeah.
Pangolin.
Pangling. That sounds
Yeah.
like a Pokemon. Pangling.
Yeah. They look very similar, but one is in the United States and Central America, and the other is in China.
Yes, that is what it's based off of, except this one it's a mole and a garden eel. And in other Poke News, we've learned that Ed Sheeran, everyone's favorite musical artist, is going to be in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I imagine it will be in the end credits theme song. Aaron is shaking his head no.
You mean everyone's favorite Lannister guard from season 7 of Game of Thrones? He's going to sing a song?
Forgot
Oh, no.
about that. Just because the actress who played Arya really liked him. So she got him on the show. And that's Poke News of the Week. Aaron, would you like to tell us the weather somewhere, please?
Yes, I would love to. Well, I'm not going to. I've got a special guest here that's going to fill in. Can you? Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
Cleo?
come on in. No. Hello, my name is Werner Herzog, and I have the weather forecast for you. Today, we
Mr.
have the weather
Herzog.
forecast. Do not interrupt Werner Herzog when he does the weather. Shh, silence, all of you. Tomorrow in Wichita, Kansas, it will be mostly sunny, except in my heart, where it is black. The high will be near 82 degrees Fahrenheit, or 35 Celsius. That is an incorrect conversion. Werner Herzog jokes. The winds will be coming from the west, much like the winds of change, and the inevitability that we all will be in a grave someday. This has been the weather with Werner Herzog. Sleep. Thank you, Werner. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the
And
I
weather.
really liked you in Mandalorian.
He laughed. He
Thank you,
didn't hear you.
Werner.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll talk to
he's
you
gone?
later, Werner. Thank you. Yeah, he
Is
left.
he not? He's not in the room. He's gone.
I think
He
it's
doesn't
pretty
want to talk to any of
amazing.
you. He only likes me.
Can someone look up if he has a cameo and also how
he
much
does not.
his cameo? Oh
Yeah.
my! He would make so much money on a cameo.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, millions. But
I don't know
he's in it for the love
Herzog
of the
cares
game.
about money.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that.
No.
He just
All
wants
right.
to see the baby. That's all he wants.
We'll
to
all
see.
be. Yeah, I would like to see the baby.
Everyone sees it, baby. So that means we're going to take our little break, and then you're going to hear the second half of the episode.
Much like after the break comes the second half of the episode.
Please enjoy this commercial break.
Geese, this is
And
movie
we're-
number...
See how it feels, Geese?
Geese,
Welcome to my world, Geese peep.
Geese, beep. Geese, for your information, this is film number 20 for the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. Movie number 20.
That's too many
And we're
movies. Welcome back, everybody, to Look Listen with Geese and Guyera. Geese, what are we
And
talking about
response
this
message.
episode? And response message.
We're talking about today the 20th Pokemon movie to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, the series, or all together as a media product.
And it came out around the time of the Sun and Moon anime that we watched. This was the movie release then.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'll go through the plot, but you guys tell me what you thought of it.
All right, Tom,
Yes.
Geese Guyera. I'm okay. I'm being generous because I know this is a children's movie, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Hold the time out, says Geese.
To interrupt you guys, how about before we get in the movie, you both give us like a quick summary of your background and expertise
Smart.
regarding
Yes.
Pokemon at large, but also like more specifically Pokemon the television series.
Yes. So, back in the days of me being a wee 7-year-old,
Hmm.
around like 98, 99, I lived and breathed the Pokemon. I was obsessed. I love that series. I got into the little kid thing of like Pokemon's for little kids. I'm 10 years old now. I can't be watching Pokemon no more. And so like I bowed out like between Gen 2 and Gen 3. And then kind of like, it's like, I'm not really into Pokemon. Then I played X and Y. Then I played a little bit of Sun and Moon. I don't remember which one I played. Then I haven't really played any since. And now I'm just into like Flygon HG on YouTube doing hardcore Nuzlocke runs.
Yeah, a lot of people fell off after Gen 2.
What about you, Aaron? Tell us your background with Pokemon.
I have heard the word Pokemon before.
You haven't seen the original series?
There's a series.
Have you played any of the games?
I played one of the Pokemon games, very early ones, maybe Gen 1 for like 15 minutes when I was maybe 17. Saw what it kind of was and was like, meh.
When
I feel like you're
was 17.
Just stage.
Right on the line. Yeah, if I were like 2 or 3 years younger, probably would be into it.
Yeah, because I'm 5 years younger than you, so
Something like that. So like,
Yeah.
what did this come out? 99 Pokemon really hit?
96.
97.
97? Well, I was right the right
For
age.
America.
97, I was 11. So I was absolutely the right age. But yeah, I was too busy watching Beast Wars, Rocco's Modern
Yeah.
Life, and Bill Nye. I didn't have time for Pokemon. I know a little bit about Pokemon, but not much. I know most of my Pokemon knowledge is pretty much limited to like Gen 1 stuff. I think I've seen maybe one episode of the original series. Maybe. I couldn't even tell you. It's the Ash, Brock, and Misty.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
That's the original? All right. I've seen maybe a little bit of that. So
basically, watching this film, and for those that don't know, this film is basically like a retelling of the first episode of Pokemon the series.
The first few episodes and this movie and its sequels are all on an alternate timeline where Ash gets the rainbow wing from Ho-Oh at the beginning. Because the first episode of Pokemon, you do see Ho-Oh fly by, but he does not get the rainbow wing. So this is alternate universe. He gets the rainbow wing, and then this is what happened.
Mm-hmm. So, Tom, for someone who has watched some of the original series, especially when you were a child, were there any moments of like nostalgia for you?
Yeah. I saw this movie in theaters when it came out. It was fun. I'm like, Ash is giving a speech to a bunch of birds. It was fun. Like that first like 20 minutes, like pre-theme song, what got me. And then afterwards, it's just kind of like, it's like an adaptation of an adaptation. It feels like, oh, I'm gonna do like a Game of Thrones comparison for this. Compartmentalized in my brain, it's like, this is like a multiverse situation. This Tyrion is different than Book Tyrion. This Ash has the Ash I know. I don't like this new Ash as much.
Mm-hmm.
the pacing's a little odd. There is some things that kind of don't make sense. But I mean, when you're a 12-year-old kid, you're getting what you want out of this. You're seeing the Pokemons you want. You're watching Ash like overcome things and whatnot. So as much as like I want to tease this movie or like kind of make fun of it a little bit, I honestly can't, like, because it's just, you know, it's a kid's movie. It's not, you know, it's not terribly made. It's not confounding or.
There's a lot in Sun and Moon I have found to enjoyable experience, but most of watching any Pokemon anime, it's never been good, like good filmmaking, good storytelling. It's just, if you love Pokemon, you like seeing Pokemon running around, being cute, being cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
was this made for kids or was this made for the adults with the nostalgia
both.
for that original like 151 like Gen 1 Pokemon to like bring them back into the theater?
Made for both.
Yeah, I think it is both. I think inherently anything Pokemon is going to be geared towards children, but I think because it is the 20th anniversary and because it is a retelling of the first couple of episodes, it's both.
I was incredibly bored by this movie, to be honest. Like, it was like I was engaged in that the retelling of the first couple episodes, but once they start veering off into like their own side stories, where it lost me with like, why did the legendary dogs, why does Fire Dog, My Little Pony Dog, and Lightning Dog all need to be in this? Like, they're not adding anything to the story besides we're putting the Pokemon in here.
Has to do with the Rainbow Wing.
It's like we get that story, but it's like they don't feel relevant to the plot. There's like Team Rocket is in this, but I don't think they interact with the main
They're
characters.
only in this as nostalgia bait. Like they
Yeah.
serve no actual purpose to
I-
any of the plot.
Yeah, I literally asked
Yeah.
Geese that as we were like finishing this movie up. I was like, well, why was Team Rocket in this? They had no relevance to the plot. They didn't do anything in the movie that made
Like, is
Any
Team Rocket
difference?
still a threat in Sun and Moon?
Yeah.
They're not like the Skull Kids or whatever.
They're also there.
Okay.
We covered this last episode, but basically, Tom, in the video games, you only worry about Team Rocket in Gen 1 and 2. And and there's Team Rainbow Rocket, but we don't need to get into that. But in the anime, the canon there is there's all the teams, but then there's Jesse and James, which coincidentally, they are always in the same region as Ash.
Okay.
They just, for plot reasons, to make them there, it's unrelated, but like, oh, go catch some Pokemon in Alola. And oh my goodness, Ash is here. I can't believe it. That keeps happening.
Yeah. Like, I never realized how bad Ash is at Pokemons, at like doing Pokemon battles.
He's
He
a
doesn't know his
10-year-old
type
boy,
charts at
Tom.
all.
But, well, and to be fair for this movie, this is starting from his origin, so
That's true,
He doesn't
yeah.
know anything. I will say this movie's way better in Japanese. The infamous moment of this, in which theaters laughed at the screen and ridiculed publicly and loudly, it sounds perfectly fine in Japanese. It's just like, oh, sounds like Pikachu.
What moment is that?
In the end of this film, Pikachu speaks English. Or Japanese.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
It's
You
just
know what? No, I'm sorry. I take it all back. This movie's terrible. I never liked it. It's wrong and bad. No.
It's good
Yeah,
in
that was very weird and felt wrong. And
If I might add, I thought they crammed way too much in this movie and it was boring, yet somehow too much was going on.
When they have to have an entire character for exposition come in, oh, we have a man who can tell us everything that's happening at the final battle, Professor Man, and
Yeah.
he's just here now.
Researcher in a book.
that does happen a lot. Yeah, but it's not doesn't mean it's okay. Like, I've seen that
Yeah,
in plenty
it's
of
just-
media. Yeah. Here comes old grizzled man, or here comes character out of nowhere to explain the backstory or give context to what we're doing here. Like,
And they kill a 10-year-old child for a little bit and send him to like the regular world in his dreams.
oh
Yeah, world without Pokemon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it the regular world because it's still anime, but yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't like Evangelion.
No. Aaron needs to watch that eventually, so.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, oh, when you guys were
You
talking
teased
about
it on
Evangelion,
response message.
you were telling him it was just the 26 episodes or whatever in 3 movies. I think it's more than 3 movies, right?
It's 4 movies. Well, 5
because
movies.
the rebuilds, the end of Evangelion, and the
I wouldn't make him go through those.
you have to. It's all you have to watch. All of
No.
them. Yes.
You get
You don't
3
get all of it.
episodes, and then I decide if we keep going.
Yeah. They actually say in the Japanese version, might makes right?
No, I don't remember that. No.
Oh, is that
Is that right?
Kane?
It's cross because his hair's in a cross.
Cross. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
And he's like,
Social Darwinist.
yeah, I'd say poor
It's like-
Charizard.
mm-hmm. Is it Marshadow? Who's
Yeah,
like
he's
the bad
he's the
Pokemon?
mythical Pokemon. He's the Alolan mythical based off of
What?
Hawaiian spirits.
Is he bad? He doesn't really like that
Not
part.
good.
In
Of,
most spirits, he's like they're like neutral.
yeah.
But like depending on like the situation, they can be, I guess, enemies towards humans. So now that we've talked about general thoughts, why don't you get us started on the finer plot details, Guyera?
All right. Would you like to introduce the film's title? We may have done that in the past, but it makes more sense now. Geese, would you like to say the name of the movie and I will get into the plot?
The movie in English is Pokémon the Movie. I choose you.
And in Japanese, it is Kimi ni Kimeta. Clambos. It's the 20th movie. 20th anniversary. We open in an exciting Pokemon battle. It's Blastoise versus Gengar. Ice Beam, Go Venusaur, Leaf Cutter, Hydro Pump. Ash is watching this unfold, just like the opening of the Pokemon video games. And it's the night before his 10th birthday. But it's a different art style than Sun and Moon. Not as good as Sun and Moon, if you ask me.
Not
But-
nearly as good as Sun and Moon.
It is a retelling of the original series with a twist. Ash breaks his alarm clock as he sleeps, just like in the original. He throws it, and he thinks it's a Pokeball in his little dreams. But Geese, what happens? Like in the original series. That's right, Geese,
breaks
he
the alarm clock.
oversleeps. And his mother has to wake him up, but his mother wakes him up far too late.
This is a 9-year-old boy.
About to be 10.
Well, he's about to be 10. Come on.
9 years old, 364 days.
Yep, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's send this 10-year-old child out into the wilderness with a backpack and a sleeping bag, and we're fine
And
with
a rat.
this. And a rat? Like, I'm like, okay, fine, it's a kid's story, but just, kids want to
Post-scarcity
have
world.
adventures. It's very strange.
Yeah, in a
Is this-
post-scarcity world where crimes barely exist,
Wait, is that
10-year-olds
wait,
can do that.
is that what Pokemon is? It is a post-scarcity world?
We think so. Look at the technology they have. Ash overslept. He runs to Professor Oak's, but oh my goodness gracious, guess what? All the Pokemon are gone. All the Charmanders, all the Bulbasaurs, all the Squirtles. Gary took one of them. Gary took a Squirtle, as a matter of fact. Some girl
we don't
took
even
the
see.
Bulbasaur.
We don't even see Gary again.
Yeah.
No, it's just no. This
Also-
It's an implied Gary.
it's the offshoot.
So is this like
Implied
how often
Gary
does
is my favorite indie band.
Yeah, I love Implied Gary. Implied Gary Oak.
But, like,
That actually is really
how-
good. Write that down, somebody.
how often does this happen? Like, how often is Professor Oak giving out exactly 3 Pokemon to exactly 3 children?
Maybe once a year. Well, no, it's
What if-
Ash's birthday. Were they all born on the same day?
I don't. Yeah,
Like-
Aaron, you're asking questions I have never considered.
yeah. Well, like, 'cause
Maybe
it's
these are all
and-
Valentine's babies.
well, like, why do they call them starter Pokemon? Like, because
So-
all 9, 10-year-olds start their Pokemon collecting journey at this age.
Every region has 3 starter Pokemon. When a Pokemon trainer turns 10 years old, they can be a trainer. And they
Mhm.
begin their journey by going to the Pokemon professor of the region.
Okay.
And they are presented one of 3 Pokemon, a fire type, a water type, and a grass type. You get to choose one of those Pokemon, and each of those Pokemon has 2 evolutions. So for a 3-stage line, so Squirtle,
Mhm.
Wartortle, Blastoise, etc.,
Mhm.
Charmander, Charmander.
Right.
You understand?
So does like every 10-year-old in the Aloha region get like a choice of a Alolan, whatever? Like, do they all get like a like? Is there just like a basket full of Poplios, or like pulling out
Yeah.
the Poplios?
Yes. But
Also, can
but
we
not
title
every-
this episode a basket full of Poplios?
Well, I was gonna do what was it? Theoretical professor, or I mean Gary. What was? I've already forgotten. I'll look it up.
Implied Gary Oak.
Yeah,
Implied Gary.
Here's something to remember: not everybody in the Pokemon world is a Pokemon trainer. Only if you decide to be a Pokemon trainer does this happen. Like you could just
You
be a
make-
baker.
Like, there is money in this world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not really like post scarcity. Also, do you
Capitalism
make money as a
still remains.
Pokemon trainer? Like,
Yeah, you
What
steal
was
it
that?
from little kids who like.
do you make
sports.
money as a Do you make
Yeah.
money as a Pokemon trainer?
When you win in a battle, you win money.
Okay. Oh, so it's literally gambling and like, okay. So there's whole, okay. So is there like, all right, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, Guyera. I'm derailing this because I need to. These are the hard hitting questions I need to ask because I need the answers. Okay. We've got regions, we've got territory, we've got specialists working these territory. Is this like a governmental system for Pokemon to raise children to be Pokemon trainers?
If they
You
want
say
to,
there's a professor for each region.
right?
So like, is this whole like world government system based upon Pokemon?
Well,
yes.
Not because in Alola they had to start the Pokemon. What is
League?
it called,
The
Gyra?
Pokemon League.
Yeah, the Pokemon League. So it's like region specific. So each region is like basically an autonomous state that decides.
They're like countries.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're based on
Um,
real world locations.
right.
Our world.
It's like alternate Earth, like alternate universe Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, like, can you just imagine giving a 10-year-old a Pokemon that can just make fire? Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's irresponsible.
Like,
Well, that's why it's a kid's. Yeah.
yeah, like everyone
Yes.
would have died by like electric shock from the yellow rat Pokemon.
You know, it's
Yeah,
it's childhood
humans
power
are-
fantasy stuff. Like it's it's
Yeah.
fine, but yeah, like,
Humans are tougher in this universe, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, so Ash says arriving 1 second late can change your life. There's no starters left.
very true.
Unless, oh my goodness gracious, there's one Pokemon left, but he's got a problem. He doesn't like being in a Pokeball, and he's kind of rude to people. He's running around. He's running around, not in the ball. Who is it, Geese?
It's Pikachu.
There's the entire, like, is that considered the climax of this movie, Pikachu talking?
Yes.
So if Pikachu doesn't want to be in that Pokeball from the beginning, and Pikachu doesn't like Ash at the beginning, is Pikachu a filthy liar saying that they want to spend time with Ash and not be in the Pokeball? Or does it imply that they just changed their mind and that's the reason?
Maybe they're like, being in the Pokeball is just like suspended animation. So they're like, I feel like I'm dead when I'm in the Pokeball.
No,
it's supposed to be very comfortable for them.
Yeah, even I've heard that it's a very comforting and wonderful place for them to be, and they love it. So, which you have to say that, because otherwise, the implications are not okay. But yeah, like that's a bit of a odd.
He just hates Pokeballs, but he does learn to love him through the course of the movie. So that's not inaccurate. It's a new reason he doesn't want to get in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like Pikachu doesn't talk until then. So you can't really like have any kind of real payoff with that, because like the way you would write that with a character would be, at the beginning they state their reason that they don't want to be in that Pokeball for whatever it is, right? And then they go through that journey, grow, learn, love, and then at the end you get the payoff of, I don't mind being in the Pokeball, but I don't want to be in it because I love you, and then you get your huge emotional payoff. It's just kind of it rings a little hollow when there's no other setup for it.
When a little bit of a plot hole.
Yeah, when your like secondary character can only say Pikachu. It leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, he can also say
adorably.
Pika.
Pika, Pika, Pika.
Perfect. All right, Ash picks up Pikachu and he gets shocked. Oh my goodness. But he's got a sick ball with a lightning symbol. So if I was Pikachu, I'd want to jump in there. Mom brings in Ash's clothes, but Pika's not going to get in that Pokeball. He smacks it right back in Ash's face, and they go back and forth with the ball, and then everybody gets shocked. There's a good shot of Ash dragging Pikachu with a rope out of Professor Oak's lab.
That's hilarious.
That
reminds me of like say it, Tom. I think we have the same thought.
It's Gollum in Lord of the Rings when they're like have him with the elven rope. He's like, it burns us. It burns us precious.
That was not where I was going with that. I was picturing a cat with a harness on and dragging it through the cat that doesn't want to move. Yeah.
All right. Now I'm just picturing Gollum with like Pikachu like colorings, like a yellow Gollum with like big Pikachu ears and like striped and like rosy red cheeks.
One ball to rule them all. One ball to catch them all. Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah, one ball to catch them all. Okay, Tom, let's write a cross fanfic Pikachu Lord of the Rings
cross.
Yes.
Write it down now.
So Ash is Frodo.
Uh-huh.
Gandalf is Professor Oak.
Yep. Who's Sauron?
Sam is Brock. Misty's Aragorn.
Ash just wants to be friends with Pikachu. Pikachu's not interested. And Ash, it's time to go catch a Pidgey. And it pops out of the Pokeball, and Pikachu won't battle the Pidgey. Ash throws a rock instead. And oh my goodness, he throws it at Spearow. But this is bad news because there's a million Spearow, and they're upset that Ash threw a rock at one Spearow. Pikachu's laughing. That's a mistake. Oh my god, there's thousands of Spearow, which is different than the original series, because in the original series, there are far fewer Spearow. This time, the stakes are way higher.
They have the power of CGI now, so they can add more Spearows.
Yes. We have control, copy, control, paste.
Yeah. Control Z, Control V. Oh my god, they're attacking Pikachu. But Ash is going to protect him. He jumps in front of him. And then, yeah, there's no way he's going to fight off 1,000 Spearow. So he just grabs Pikachu and runs away. He falls in a river.
What protections are there against wild Pokemon when you're like, let's say like you white out and you're like making your way back to the Pokemon Center, but like there is this giant like flock of Spearows. Like, could you just like die?
Yes.
Like, is that like
in Legends Arceus, we finally see that. So Legends Arceus is the first, it's not traditional mainline, but it is mainline. It's the first mainline Pokemon game where you can run out of Pokemon. All your Pokemon can faint, but the game keeps going because you as a trainer have your own health bar and you can die. Clambos, it's getting dark and cloudy. And Ash says, I promise I'll protect you from all these Spearow. Ash, oh my god, Ash drops the Pikachu. He begs him to get in the ball to be safe. And it gets serious now, Geese, because he turns his hat around and he says, "You don't know who you're dealing with. I'm going to be the greatest trainer. I'm Ash from Pallet Town." He stands in front of Pikachu. But Pikachu jumps off Ash's shoulder and he does a giant electric explosion into the sparrows. And then we cut to the next morning. Beat up Ash is getting little Pikachu kisses. And Geese, who do we see up in the skies?
It's Ho-Oh. And I have a question for you, Gyra.
Yes.
Is Ho-Oh and the 3 Pokemon Ho-Oh make in Pokemon Legends Arceus?
Ho-Oh is not. Legends Arceus takes
Interesting.
place in Sinnoh, so that's pretty far from where Ho-Oh would hang out.
Is Ho-Oh in the first generation Pokemon?
Second.
He is not,
Okay.
but he is in the first episode of the
Right.
anime. Because by the time they produced the anime, the game had already been out for a while,
Makes sense.
and they were already deep in development of Gold and Silver.
Mm.
So to tease the new games coming out, they put Ho-Oh into the first episode, and it was very exciting for people watching.
Just get in there, Taco.
Kanto is Generation 1, and Johto is Generation 2. And is Taco just going to town?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a little.
So you can literally... Go get him, Taco. You can literally walk from Kanto to Johto very easily, so you can imagine Ho-Oh just flying across. No big deal.
Gotcha.
Ho-Oh, the...
Give us
Still
some
laughing
privacy.
at okay. Tom moves the camera. Oh. Now we begin the alternate timeline. Everything before this is the same as the original anime, but now we see the rainbow feather falling from Ho-Oh, and Ash gets it. It shimmers down from the sky. We've now reached the intro of the movie.
Late title cards.
Yes. Very exciting. Ash tells Pikachu, "Let's meet that Ho-Oh someday." Geese, the song they play in this intro is the same as in Sun and Moon. So I think they've just been using the same theme song in Pokemon in Japanese for years and years.
It's
we see
the original theme song in English.
Mhm.
the Pokémon. So we have an intro of Ash and Pikachu going through all the moments of the early anime. We're catching Caterpie, we're running on docks, we're battling Machops, we're shaking hands. I guess he's shaking hands with somebody he battled with.
Kissing babies.
Kissing babies, watching Butterfrees, crossing fields, shot from the original anime. And we cut to the big city. Is it Celadon City? Yes, it is. He's battling Erica's Tangela. Erica is a gym leader, the fourth gym leader, I believe, gets the rainbow badge. Ash beats Erica with, there's a Vine Whip from the Tangela. Oh my goodness gracious. Ash has 3 badges now. We cut to some Nidorans in a forest, and Ash is talking to his mom on the little Pokemon Center computer video
Just
screen.
FaceTiming his mom.
FaceTime, exactly. He's playing with an Ivysaur, and his mom is happy to see Pikachu. This is interesting because they're already introducing a bunch of Pokemon that aren't part of the original 151 from Kanto. We see a Lucario. Very exciting.
Sonic!
No, he doesn't look like something.
Punch Dog.
That works. But there's a wanted poster for Team Rocket, so you better watch out because they're going to steal your Pokemon. Oh my God, geez. We see Team Rocket, and they're sneaking behind some newspapers. They're wearing the cloaks and the hats to try to sneak in, or be incognito, I should say. And
They're just the Chrome incognito window guy.
a kid runs in with a Vaporeon. Help! An Entei did this. And if you're a fan of Pokemon, you may think, an Entei? What is Entei doing in Kanto messing with poor Vaporeons? It's a fire legendary Pokemon, along with Suicune
The
Suicune
My Little
Raikou.
Pony Pokemon.
I don't think it looks like a My Little Pony.
That's what Laura said. She was just like, that is a My Little Pony Pokemon.
No.
Geese is
It's
not
even
along.
No, not at all. But they're legendary Pokemon from Johto. They were created when Ho-Oh brought them back to life because they died in a big giant fire in a tower, and it's real sick. Oh, everyone's listening to this kid talk about Entei, and everyone runs off to catch it. And Team Rocket throws off their disguise, and there's a Weedle crawling up a tree. Ash runs into the forest and spots Entei at the same time as the American accent girl. What is her name, Geese? She has a Piplup. Is it Verity? So Verity, this character's name, we believe, throws out a Piplup, which is a Generation 4 starter, little water type, penguin Pokemon. Bubble Beam! Oh my goodness. Entei jumps behind Ash and he's huge. Pikachu used 10,000 volts. Oh my god, there's a fire attack. Go, Lucario, use Pulse Orb. And then, yeah, the kids are arguing for a while. There's a storm a brewing. But they're gonna battle anyway.
Oh, yeah, battling is very casual. Much more,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously with these games and whatnot, but like, I think at some point Ash says, yeah, I battle to make friends.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
accurate.
okay.
It's their favorite pastime. It's the entire idea of being a Pokemon trainer. I mean, you can have a Pokemon as a pet and just hang out with it, but Pokemon trainers go out and battle and catch new Pokes and whatnot. Drill Break, Iron Tail, Quick Attack, Hydro Pump. Oh my god, she hit an Onix, just like in the Sun and Moon episode we watched. Geese. Ash grabs Piplup and runs away.
We see a train of Diglets.
Yeah.
They run up a rock and land on top of Onix. Who, the kids? Yeah, they're on an Onix traveling through
Oh, yeah, that Onyx gets upset.
like a valley.
Yeah, the rock snake
Yeah.
gets upset.
Yeah, Onix was hit, I think, during this battle.
Yes.
Ash jumps in front of the Onix to try to stop it. Very brave of Ash. And Verity tells Piplup to use a Whirlpool. That'll stop him. And it does, because Onix does not like water type attacks. Ash yells that he is sorry for scaring Onix. And Onix accepts the apology and just digs on into the cliffside wall.
So how much English do Pokemon know, do we think?
Yeah.
They understand.
So
They
are
just-
they like fluent in English, or not English, but
Whatever
Pokemese?
language. Well, they do speak. This is actually super cool in the video games. Every video game is translated into whatever language you play in for ease of the player. But like people in Unova speak Poke English. People in Kanto speak Poke Japanese. So when you get a character from one region going to another, they'll speak in like broken English or whatever region you're playing in. You know? So they're speaking Japanese in this movie canonically because it's Poke Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're way better at understanding humans than like I would say a dog. Like you could have a conversation and tell them go do this, go do that.
I guess, yeah, because they understand what Hyper Beam is.
Right. Yeah, they understand a lot. Let's leave it at that. Piplup is very cute in this scene after the Onix goes into the cliff. The girl, Verity, and then it starts to rain and they run off. And Geese, what do they see? What do they see in the rain? What Pokemon?
A Charmander.
And Tom, what's Charmander's deal with his tail? Tell the Clambos.
The more his tail is on fire, the more alive he is.
That's correct,
But no.
Tom. Oh my goodness, Geese. Charmander's flame, it's getting so low.
It's just like that one episode of the anime.
Exactly like that one episode of the anime. I have runs to redhead with Lycanrog that kicks it. Oh, this is Cross. Okay.
This
all
is
right.
Cross because his hair's
Yeah.
in a
Tom,
cross.
as number one Cross fan, why don't you explain Cross's relationship with Charmander?
I am not the number one Cross fan. Like, I honestly believe that he should have had a Heracross. Cross should have had a Heracross,
That'd be sick.
but because they both have Cross in their name. He believes in the strength of the Pokemon bloodline.
All right, Geese, this is what's happening. Cross is a redhead with dumb hair, and he's a terrible person, and he mistreated his Charmander because he felt Charmander was not strong enough, so he kicks the Charmander, and he's terrible, and he's gonna lift this poor Charmander to die.
And, like, I felt really bad for this Charmander. Like,
Oh,
Me too.
so
it's just
sad.
like, oh, poor little guy. I already had to watch you almost die 20 years ago. I'm glad you're making me relive this Pokemon company.
I do not remember that episode.
It's very sad.
It was very
Geese, were you-
influential on me.
Geese, were you the one asking about the Tauros last episode?
Yes.
Okay, here's something interesting. I knew those Tauros were from the Safari Zone episode because I'm just familiar with it, but it would make a lot of sense for an English speaker to have no idea where those Tauros came from because the Safari Zone episode never aired in the United States. Because in that episode, this Safari Zone warden puts a gun, a real human, this real world gun right in Ash's face. And the United States said, no, we are not going to air this. So this big plot point that's in several seasons and decades, we just don't know where they came from. But it was from this far. Ash saves the Charmander, and it's raining and storming, but they're going to bring him to this cave. And Sorrel, I've written down.
Sorrel. Yep, Sorrel.
Sorrel's got a Lucario, and they get him in the cave, and they sit the Charmander by the little campfire, and Sorrel's not going to let this Charmander die.
He's like a Pokemon medic.
Right.
So what
Pokemon
his
Man.
dream is to be.
And his whole thing is he's going to travel to where all the legendary Pokemon are. All the kids are in the cave discussing their dreams. Sorrel tells them, put all your Pokemon in their Pokeballs so they can stay warm, because it's stormy and cold, Geese. But none of the Pokemon want to go into their Pokeballs because Pikachu's not gonna. And then, Geese, who walks through the cave?
Entei.
Is he the fire dog Pokemon?
He's a beast.
A beast.
People call them legendary dogs, but they actually are more like cats, like a saber-toothed tiger and a etc. But beasts is the term you want to use. The 3 legendary beasts. He's got his line of pokes, a Paris, a Nidoran, a Sandshrew, a Cubone, a Rattata. Sorrel says the legend of Ho-Oh granting life to the Entei after he died in the tower from gold and silver. The Phoenix power for the legendary beasts. Ash tells him, oh, I saw Ho-Oh flying in the sky, and look at my fancy rainbow feather I got from him. Geese, who's hanging out in the shadows?
It's was it Marsh?
That's right, Geese. Marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
The DJ Marshmallow has
Yes.
been a Pokemon this entire time.
First, he was in Goat Simulator. Now he's in Pokemon. It's the mythical from Alola, Marshadow. Turns out, Geese, this feather will let Ash meet Ho-Oh as the legendary hero. And then we cut to everyone snoozing in the cave. Marshadow's goofing around with Ash. I don't know what he's doing. Must be up to no good, you would imagine. And now we cut to good morning. Entei and all his little friends are gone. But Charmander's good. His tail is burning bright. And Ash, or one of the children, asks, do you want to join us? But Geese, Charmander's so sad about his last trainer. But he lets Ash...
He needs therapy.
Yes, he does. But he lets Ash put the little Pokeball on his little forehead.
Which Pokemon would be the best therapist, and why is it Hypno?
Hypno would be all right. That delayed, but
It's called comedic timing, Guyera, and mwah, I've got it, baby.
God.
Hell yeah, babe.
Unfortunately, there are Pokemon who are so wildly powerful in every capacity that they would be better. Also, Slowking would probably be better than Hypno. Because Hypno just...
so could they, like-
Poliwhirl?
As a therapist?
Sure.
She's going to stand
Aaron,
there
I
and
want
be
you
a
to Google what
tadpole.
Poliwhirl looks like.
Is it the one with the swirly on it?
Yes?
Google what
Yeah.
type Poliwhirl is.
Okay. But also, what's the one that has spoons?
That's Alakazam. And Kadabra.
Alakazam.
Yeah.
He's going to reach out and
Alakazam
grab
has
you.
spoons, Kazam has spoon.
Spoon Man?
Because
Spoonman.
psychics bent spoons, like that whole thing.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there was like a whole thing where like they couldn't print that card forever because like there's some guys like, you stole my bit.
Really?
Pokemon.
Well, no, that's not. Here's the story real quick on that guy. Unsolved Mysteries update. Thank goodness he has since gone out and said, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused Kadabra. Please, Pokemon, you're allowed to use him again in the card game and everything else. That man's name was Yuri
Pokemon.
Geller.
Unsolved Mystery.
He was a scam artist. He was a fake psychic. Not that there are real psychics, but he claimed to be a real psychic. He was debunked several times. In Japanese, Kadabra's name is Yuri Geller, but Yuri Gera, in Japanese. And for the Team Rocket set, they printed cards in English that said dark in front of it. So there's dark Yuri Geller, or translated into Japanese, evil Yuri Geller. And he was not happy about that. He was like, they're calling me satanic, this multi-million-dollar company. And because of that, he sued them. And so they just full stop removed Kadabra from ever appearing in the card game. It actually got crazy because you would have sets that would have Kadabras and Alakazams, but not Kadabras. So they had to like build in abilities on the card text for Abra to directly evolve up into Alakazam. It was a whole ordeal. But after all these decades, finally he can come back. It's a big, exciting development. What on earth is going on in this movie? They see a rainbow in the sky, Geese, and Ash holds up his feather, but Marshadow is living in Ash's shadow. So you better remember that and get scared about it. Sorrel, our friend here, is going on about the mountain range, and it's time to be a rainbow hero. Let's all go together. But Geese, who's snooping? Who's listening in?
Team Rocket.
I'm going to guess that their performance in this movie is just normal like any other episode. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this movie, in Japanese, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. They're putting their performance up to like level 20. It's so much more dramatic than the regular cartoon episodes. It's hysterical.
I guess they have to like do something to be memorable because they literally contribute nothing to the plot.
Oh yeah, they're so dramatic in this. We cut to some more montages of the kids and they're swimming and catching pincers with the remix of the main theme. And oh my goodness gracious, the Caterpie's evolving into a metapod and the pincer got away. Cut to some snoozing. Verity, the girl that's traveling with him, is reliving memories on her phone of playing and eating. She's getting homesick. There's a picture of an Empoleon. So she is from Sinnoh, almost certainly.
I think Laura called this one, he was a vampire Pokemon, a vampire penguin Pokemon.
He's not a vampire. He's a...
He kind of has that vampire vibes.
What, his little cloak? His little...
Yeah, a little
trident
like
on his head?
Crown.
It's a sick trident. Come on now.
Widow's Peak.
She sees a Suicune, or as Tom and Laura call it, a My Little Pony.
The My Little Pony Pokemon.
I don't agree, for the record. We cut to the next day, and the kids are walking. Verity's telling them all about Suicune. So there's some sort of battle happening. Clambos, hopefully you watched the episode and you remember. There's Charmander use flamethrower, and there's Staryus and Starmies hopping out of some water, and Charmander evolves into Charmeleon. We cut to nighttime Pokemon Center, and everybody's saying hi to Ash's mom on the computer for the FaceTime. And Sorrel's reading a book in the library. Important book, Tom, because who's in that book?
Professor Beardy, it's Beardmon.
Yep, Professor Beardman is in the book all about Ho-Oh. Can somebody tell me who says this? Takes in pulse of happiness and activities of humans. Is that just what Ho-Oh does? Or is
that was Dolly Parton. She showed up in this movie, and she would be a really good Pokemon trainer, don't you think?
What kind of type trainer do you think should be like? Fairy?
She just have six like Jigglypuffs.
Ground.
Catching 9 to 5, gathering up the Pokemons all day.
She'd be a fairy type trainer, I think.
Yeah.
Or ground type. Ground and rock type.
Maybe.
Like Wild West.
I think rock type for the pun, even though she's country western.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Geese,
She's
is
in
it
Rock and
Marsh?
Roll Hall of Fame.
That's true.
She is.
Very sick. Okay, here's my favorite thing about this movie. I don't know if you noticed, Tom and Aaron, you probably did not notice this, but Geese, tell me, you must have noticed how hard the Foley went in this movie. Like, taking steps and flipping pages went so hard. You never hear this in the Sun and Moon anime. It's just
how dare you crazy. Not think I would notice that?
Aaron, you don't watch this.
You mean
TV
comparatively?
Show. Yeah, compared to the Pokemon TV show.
I will not lie. I did notice that this movie does sound good.
Yeah, Aaron's a soundman.
Soundman. Aaron Soundman. But yeah, Sorrel's flipping through this book, and it's the loudest, like most beautiful, satisfying page flips you've ever heard in your life. Just straight, oh, so good. God. Uh-oh, Geese. Evil Feather, what?
Ash is like alone at night, right? Marshmallow tries to like suck his soul away.
I think that happens later. But something's going on now where, I guess in the book, it's saying that if the feather gets in the wrong hands, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, it says in the book.
And Cross, the jerk from before that almost killed a Charmander, is listening in on this conversation with the book. Then we cut to a battle of Pikachu versus Snorlax. Iron Tail, 10,000 volts. Way to go, Pikachu. The Snorlax voice acting in Japanese, outstanding. So good. I feel so bad for you guys watching English. Must have been a terrible experience.
Do they do different takes for like the Pokemon in like Japanese and English?
Only if their names are different. Like Pikachu is Pikachu in Japanese and English, so it's going to be the same there, unless Pikachu is speaking Japanese or English. Exactly. But Snorlax has a different name in Japanese, so it is very much a different voice actor. And Cross is going to battle Ash next. He calls Charmeleon useless because he thought he was a weak Pokemon, and that's why he abandoned him.
Always
and
weak.
I wrote, this is very traumatic for poor little Charmeleon. Feel very bad.
Yeah.
He has to like fight like a man in a furry cat suit.
Hey, Geese knows who that is. And he's in Smash. No.
Wait, what does Cross have? What's his companion Pokemon?
What, Incineroar?
Yes, Incineroar is the final evolution of Litten from Alola.
How dare you, Tom? How dare you criticize any form of Lynn.
The wrestler Pokemon who has like a
Yes.
a belt.
He won it.
What a transformation, though.
Yeah.
Cross says that Charmeleon is still just a weakling, and he throws out Incineroar. Charmeleon, use Flamethrower, slash. Oh my god, he blocks it. Globe Throw, in English, I'm sure is Seismic Toss, because it looks like a Seismic Toss. Flamethrowers all around. Everybody's doing a Flamethrower. Oh my goodness. Geese, Charmeleon's hurt. And here's the thing about Incineroar. It gets more powerful the more it gets attacked. Oh my god, it's a Flame Fang in Japanese. And then, okay, tell me the English name of this move. In Japanese, it is Hell Throat Chop. No,
Well, they drop the hell, so it's just throat chop.
It just
Throat
throat chop, yeah.
Throat chop, cross chop, flamethrower. Sorrel says no, he doesn't have the strength, Ash. And Geese, Incineroar knocks the Charmeleon through a brick fence, and he gets knocked out. The Foley for the clapping at the end of this. Oh my god, so good. Incredible sound. Cross tells Ash he's the worst kind of trainer. Because I guess he cares about his Pokemon and doesn't just abandon them if they don't win a battle. We cut to the Pokemon Center. We're healing up all the Pokemon. Is Sorrel defending Cross? That can't be, right?
Kind of. He's more of like saying like Cross as a trainer has prioritized strength. It's not that surprising that he won.
Right. He's saying, well, at least the strategy worked. And then, Geese, what does Ash say about Charmeleon?
That he shouldn't even have used him in the battle.
He says, if I would have used Pikachu, I bet I would have won. And the other kids, Sorrel and Lucasia, or whatever her name is, Casp,
Verity.
Verity, they can't believe Ash said that. I can't believe Ash would say something so cruel. And when Ash does something like this, which I would argue is pretty dark-hearted, we see Marshadow getting all excited in his shadow. Ash runs away. He's upset at everyone. He's in a dark forest, and Marshadow is now affecting his emotions. He's trying to possess Ash. He says, if only I'd picked one of the other starters. And Pikachu is so shocked that he says that, and he just stays behind. And Ash keeps walking, and he pulls out his feather, saying, I don't need Pikachu. And Marshadow's eyes turn purple, and the feather turns black, and Ash falls asleep. He starts
this is where we get the
dream.
Inception part of the movie directed. This part's directed by Christopher Nolan.
Exactly. He's dreaming of running to Professor Oak, but not as a Pokemon trainer. Is all of this dream in black and white at this point?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So he just goes to a school that I guess Professor Oak is a professor in or a teacher. And he sees a Phantom Pikachu. The teacher's going on about rainbows? Ho-Oh in the sky. Now I'm getting confused because I thought this dream was no Pokemon.
So what happens is like he sees an airplane and then it like Transformers morphs into a Ho-Oh.
Oh, I got you. So he's in his dream. There are no Pokemon, but he's seeing visions of Pokemon.
Wasn't this the dream where like he has to remember Pokemon again?
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of this dream.
Right.
He has another dream similar to that at the end of the movie, but where we go back to the black and white world.
But when he dies, yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler. We see the Ho-Oh in the sky, and there's a rainbow in the black and white world. Then actually it was the opposite, Tom. It was a Ho-Oh, but then the Ho-Oh turns into a...
Oh, Ho-Oh is in the skies.
Yes.
Like a robot.
Oh, in the sky, I can fly twice as high.
Oh, I thought you were going for Ho-Oh in the sky with diamonds.
No, she's under the age of 90, so she wouldn't make that reference.
Geese, Beatles are just as old for us. I mean, it's not anybody.
That really fits, though. Take a look. It's in a ball. A ho-ho
It's
rainbow.
in a Pokédex.
Ho-ho rainbow.
It's Ho-Oh, not Ho-Oh. What do you guys keep Santa Clausing?
Look. It just fits with the cadence.
All right. Ash is talking to Sorrel and what's her face, Lyra.
Verity.
Lyra is
Verity.
a currency.
Look, and a character. Listen, look. It's easy to remember because Verity, Lake Verity, Sinnoh, Verity's from Sinnoh, she's probably named after the lake. It all makes sense.
Verde is also the kind of salsa I like.
It's not Verde, it's Verity.
Verde?
They're on the roof. They're talking on the school roof like every anime. Tom knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Sasuke and Naruto were like going against each other with like Rasengan and Chidori.
Exactly.
Here too.
Exactly.
Geese
Ash-
just gave me this look of how dare you bring Naruto into this anime podcast.
I'm just so confused.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Ash is wondering what is beyond what I know. And then we get big anime tropes. Ash wants to go on a journey in this black and white dream, talking to the kids. And he describes a life, but with Pikachu, with Pokemon. And he starts to cry, but he doesn't know why. Then the kids disappear from the school roof, and Ghost Pikachu runs off, and the Fortnite resurrection sound happens. And Ash runs after Pikachu
bonk,
in a
bonk.
crumbling city. He can't remember. They're falling down an abyss, Geese. He catches Pikachu. Then he skydives into color. He hits the ground. He wakes up into the real world, the Poke real world. Yes, the real Pikachu sees him. Who's crying? Are they both crying? Are both Pikachu and Ash crying? Or just one of them?
I don't know. The only other note I have this section is trampoline monkeys. So
Mankeys.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Ash says he's sorry to Pikachu, and all the other kids are there, and it looks like Ash is regretting his words and deeds. So Marshadow sneaks away. And the feather, Geese, it turns back to normal. Oh.
you see Marshadow breathe through his skin, so he has to.
Right. Yes. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, yes. Sorrel explains to Ash the idea that every failure is a lesson. So just learn from being a jerk and don't do it again. He talks about how in his dream world, there were no Pokemon, truly a nightmare. The kids start to sit around a campfire and they tell stories. Sorrel talks about his Luxray that saved him. Geese in the snow. What happened with that?
The Luxray. Okay, so Sorrel as a kid got like lost or something out in the snow, and the Luxray, like nanny, came and protected him from the elements, but in the process froze to death.
He kept Sorrel.
Yeah, there's
warm.
actual like Pokemon death in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should have seen Geese. You should have seen Geese and me trying to get through another episode of Pokemon Death. Whoo, holy moly. It was
Holding back
rough.
those tears.
Holding him back. Luxray gave his life to protect little baby Sorrel and keep him warm. And ever since then, Sorrel's been afraid to make new friends with Pokes until he met Lucario. Now at this point, Pikachu finally sees Marshadow. Because until this point, Marshadow's been kind of very good at sneaking around. Nobody
shadows?
noticed him. Yes, exactly, Tom. In the shadows. Pikachu shocks a tree that Marshadow's hanging on. Tom, what happens when he shocks the tree?
There's a lot of monkeys in the tree. There's a lot of
So
punch
many
monkeys.
jumping in the tree. There's
Punch
primates.
Monkeys is my favorite The Arctic Monkeys cover band.
You mean the Arctic Mankeys?
Got 'em.
Oh, hey-oh.
These punching monkeys are known as primates in the Pokemon world, and they're everywhere. They throw the kids up into the air. Ash, use Metapod, which you never would think someone would ever say.
Punching monkeys, having a
Having a
blast.
String shot. Oh, goodness gracious. The Metapod wraps them all up, just like Spider-Man. And Geese, he got enough experience points from doing string shot. Then what happens?
Evolves.
Into a beautiful, beautiful Butterfree. And the Butterfree uses sleep powder. Butterfree uses sleep powder to make their monkeys fall asleep. Who approaches? Team Rocket, that's
What?
correct. But the Primeaps wake up right as Team Rocket approaches. And they throw Team Rocket in the air. They're blasting off again. And they say, this doesn't feel right. So that's a different translation than what I was getting in Sun and Moon, which was, what even is this feeling? But clearly they're saying the same thing.
I do like the comedy flying to the air and the little sparkle.
Ding!
Classic.
I remember being very mad when the first Smash Bros. Came out. Oh my god, they stole that from Pokemon when they you knock someone up without realizing that that was the same company.
Well,
Like when you smash someone really high in the sky, they go ding.
Not really the same company, but I think
also-
that's been a thing in anime even before Pokemon. The
It's
idea
been a
of
thing before anime. It's been a thing for a long time.
I was a dumb 7-year-old. Okay.
hey, you're not. Don't
We
talk
all
about
were.
yourself like that, Tom. Wait, which one of us was like, don't talk about my friend that way? If somebody's like talking down on themselves.
Oh, I think I've said that before. Yeah.
So we cut to the kids down by the river in a van. Verity's throwing out a Lapras, and they all ride on it. And again, it's a nod to the original anime intro, Geese. We cut to the kids having trouble. There's a Fearow chasing after a pink Butterfree.
Geese, is this
Yes,
the part
Tom?
where you shed tears?
Yes, I shed real human tears.
I saw them.
Wow.
Pokemon tears. Tom, you were saying something?
Oh, is this like is pink Butterfree like the canonical shiny Butterfree?
No. Pink
Oh.
Butterfree is specifically for the anime. I want to
Okay.
say that Shiny Butterfree has some more green hints. Let me make sure. Yeah, Shiny Butterfree has really green eyes. That's what it is. And I mean, there is a faint pinkness to its feet and wings, but not full pink like the pink Butterfree. Its body is still purple.
Okay.
Ash's Butterfree uses Wind Rising. Hey, the Butterfrees seem to be getting along. And we hear game music, in Japanese at least, as the kids reach the end of the rainbow they've been following on the mountain range. And it's beautiful, Geese. Mount Tensei, or in English,
Mount Tensei.
sick. The feather will lead the way. Team Rocket's still snooping. They're going to follow him, see what's going on. And the kids climb up and up and up. And Geese, it's basically you in an arboretum. There's butterflies absolutely everywhere. It's a paradise of Butterfree. This is where they mate. They find the pink Butterfree that just a scene ago, Butterfree protected from a Fearow by using Wind Rising. And then Geese, they do the courting dance. The Ash's Butterfree and pink Butterfree. Sorrel explains to the kids that they're doing a courting dance. Verity says, well, if Ash's Butterfree heads south with them, they're going to have to part ways. So Ash asks Butterfree what he wants. And Butterfree, he hides behind Ash's back. And what does Ash say to Butterfree, Geese?
To go.
And pink Butterfree gets so excited when Ash says this. And Piplup's crying. And Lucario's waving goodbye. Everybody's
I'm crying.
sobbing. Geese is crying. And it's the sun starts to set. And Ash tells Butterfree, we'll always be friends. And then we see on a hill...
Raichu.
No, very close though. Very
Solid
close.
Snake.
No, it's Raikou, the other legendary beast we haven't seen yet, and he's making Pikachu staticky, and then he disappears. CC, who is CC? Whoever CC is, they're walking through fog.
Guyera, CC, that is Cindy Crawford. She made a cameo
you.
in this movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Chelsea Clinton.
So Chelsea Clinton and Cindy Crawford are walking through fog, and there's tough Pokemon staring. There's a Nidoking, an Electabuzz, a Magmar, and an old man with a hat jumps out, and he's got a big beard, Tom, and he's wearing Ash's hat.
Yeah, this is my last note because I came up after taking
And the
notes.
whole movie, this is it.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, movie, just like
That's his last. Oh, that's
ask
good.
Aaron about his notes.
No, I want to hear, Tom, what do you have to say about this man?
This is Exposition Man. He's just gonna explain everything for the rest of the movie. If we ever get confused, he's gonna be here as our guide because our dumb kid protagonists don't know anything.
That's exactly correct, Tom. And he's here for Ho-Oh. We read about him in a Ho-Oh book. He's a famous researcher, but he's older now. What is his name in English? Because in Japanese, it's Bonji or Boniji.
I have Beardmon down, and like he's a Digimon.
Okay.
He's like a beard man.
Fine. Boniji, the researcher from the library books, he sees the feather. He smells the feather. And he explains the feather. He says that is what caused all these legendary beasts to appear. And Marshadow, too. The higher they climb up these mountains, Ash's feather glows more and more. And Boniji is explaining about how he has to bring this feather to the Rainbow Flower Bloom, Rainbow Rocks Explosion Double You put them together and they shoot a beam of light into the sky and summon Ho-Oh. We see the most important characters in this entire movie climb up the mountain. Team Rocket, they're very tired. They're very hungry. And there's also a bunch of Pokemon just standing around staring at them. Clambos, we're finally here. We're at the Rainbow Rock. And Ash has his feather. And Cross is here. Oh my God, Geese. What's Cross gonna do?
Gonna he's gonna be the rainbow hero.
The
'Cause
chosen
he saw Ho-Oh too, but he didn't get a feather.
one.
So I just was looking at the Wikipedia page for this movie for a quick sec, and Cross's English voice actor is Billy Bob Thompson, and I really want it to be Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh,
Hmm.
could have been sick. That's right, Geese. Cross says he's going to be the chosen one because he saw Ho-Oh. Ash, I think, pretty reasonably explains, well, he didn't give you a feather, so clearly I'm the chosen one. But Cross doesn't care. Marshadow appears in front of everyone. And I guess Old Man Bonji says he's going to observe until the bitter end. Go Charmeleon!
Man Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that's his name, Bon Jovi.
This is just like Ash's like future self because he like kind of looks like Ash.
He's wearing
in this
Ash's
scene.
hat.
Yeah, so is this just like Ash from like the Prime Pokemon universe? They
Probably.
got like
Ash
stuff.
Daddy.
Go Charmeleon! Use a flamethrower! Wait, flamethrowers from Incineroar! Slash from a Charmeleon! Use another throat chop and a slash, and they punch each other's hands and it's real sick, and there's a flamethrower, and then Geese. What happens to Charmeleon?
Charmeleon evolves
Into Charizard. But Cross still calls him a weakling. They start grabbing fists, and they're flying, and he's avoiding flames, and there's a Dragon Rage, and a Flame Fang, and another dodge, and Charizard's looking real sick, flying and dodging, seismic toss, flamethrower. Incineroar is knocked out. Way to go, Charizard! And Geese, I gotta say, there's good Foley here. The Foley never ceases to amaze me. Never disappoints. Very good Foley.
good sounds.
We see some more shots of all the Pokemon just staring at them. There's a Venomoth, a Graveler, a Geodude, a Rhydon, a Magnemite, a Magnezone, a Zubat, a Koffing, a Nidoqueen, a Nidoking, an Arbok, a Rhyhorn. Ash explains that he wants to get stronger, but also make new friends too, because Pokemon are not all just about getting stronger. It's about loving relationships as well. What does Cross
Make
do?
new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Any of you guys Girl Scouts?
Yeah,
Nope.
Yes.
I was a little brownie. No, I stopped at Weebelo.
Weebelo.
I probably would have
That-
enjoyed being a scout, but I never
You would have
did
been
it.
such a sick scout, Aaron.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
loved it.
Could
Aaron,
you
have big
imagine?
scout energy.
Could you
I
imagine
do,
Aaron
Aaron.
as an Eagle Scout, just setting up campfires and helping the kids? Oh my God!
I was a gold world.
What's a
A
gold
gold world?
Gold world. Geese was a
gold
gold
Gold award. A gold award. Girl Scout. No big deal.
No, big deal.
Proud of
What does
you.
that? What does that mean? I
It's
don't
like
have
the
context.
equivalent. It's the equivalent of an Eagle Scout.
Ooh,
That's so sick. I bet Geese could start such a mean campfire you wouldn't even believe it. Geese, what does Cross do to the feather in Ash's hand?
Yoinks it.
He rips it out of Ash's hand and it turns black. And he puts it in the rock, and then a purple scary beam shoots out. And the skies go dark because he has a wicked heart. Marshadow grabs him with his big scary ghost hands that appear, and then Marshadow grabs the feather. Lycanroc! Oh my goodness, he's possessed now. Marshadow's controlling Lycanroc. And he's attacking Cross. But Geese, who protects, of all people, who protects Cross from the possessed Lycanroc?
Charizard.
The Pokemon that Cross abandoned as a baby Charmander. Charizard protects Cross, and he can't believe it. Marshadow then possesses all the Pokemon in the audience. Who's charging up a beam to attack the kids? It's somebody. Is it Marshadow?
It's like all the like guys are like charging up beams, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
what happens.
So they're all being possessed at once. So they're all getting the prime directive from Marshadow to attack the children.
Yeah.
The prime directive.
All right.
Oh, we talking
Protect-
Star Trek? All right, okay. So in Star Trek, the prime directive is General Order number 1 of Starfleet to not interfere with any planet, species, civilization until they achieve warp power, because that's kind of the threshold upon which you're going to find out the universe is populated beyond just your home planet. So that's kind of the Great Barrier, is if you kind of entry for civilizations to step out onto the galactic stage, if you will.
Oh, will never
And
appear
I
like
will.
this. Ash needs to restore the feather back to its pure form. Ho-Oh chose him, after all. Flamethrower Charizard, Hydro Pump Piplup. Ash runs on top of a Rhyhorn, and it's very sick. And Lucario's fighting a Graveler, and Cross grabs Lycanroc and to stop him from attacking. And Geese, Lycanroc bites Cross's arm. But then what happens, Geese?
Cross is like, remember when we first met? You bit me then too. And Lycanroc remembers and is not hypnotized anymore.
He becomes unpossessed, and he licks Cross. Little Lycanroc kisses.
Little
Ash yells at
kiss.
Marshadow to give back that feather. Iron Tail Pikachu again! And Cross goes to help, and all the kids are up against the possessed pokes.
I just remembered who Lycanroc is. It's Knuckles. It's Knuckles the Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Lycanroc's a wolf.
He looks like Knuckles.
He
Yeah,
does
maybe
look
a
like
little bit.
Knuckles.
Yeah, with the hair.
He's got- He's got toed like Knuckles.
This is
Yeah.
a midnight
That's the
form
midnight
Lycanroc,
form.
because dusk form and midday form look nothing like a Knuckles. Then we get a very terrifying shot, if you ask me, which is Arbok wrapping himself around Charizard's neck. Very scary. Pikachu shocked the Marshadow. Oh no, he's tough. 10,000 volts. Marshadow kicks the attack. It looks sick. Marshadow punches Pikachu in the face. And he's still holding that black feather, Geese. He's the possessed Pokemon approach, and Ash is cornered on a ledge, and him and Pikachu, they're weak, Geese. They've been beat up from all these pokes, and they're crawling towards each other. And he's saying to Pikachu, Geese, he's saying, please get in the ball. Pikachu, please, you'll be safe in there. And Ash turns his hat backwards, and he says once again, just like in the beginning of the episode or movie, he says, you don't know who you're dealing with. And he stands in front of Pikachu to protect him, to take the attack of all the possessed Pokemon. And once again, Pikachu jumps on top of him and over his shoulder to attack, just like Despero. And he says in perfect English to Ash that he always wants, or Japanese if you're watching that version, he just always wants to be with him. And that's why he won't get in the ball. And like I said earlier, in Japanese, it just sounds cool. Like, it's not weird or funny or dumb at all.
Well,
that could be
on my
me.
on my jaunt to the Wikipedia page for this movie, it's the same voice actor who does like the Pikachu voice, and it's a different voice actor with the English version, obviously.
Right.
So I think that might be the jarringness of it. Like, when it's
yeah, because he sounds like Pikachu. Right.
Yeah.
'Cause it's the same person.
Yeah.
And Geese, Pikachu gets in the ball for the first time ever. And Ash protects him. He wraps himself around the Pokeball to protect Pikachu. And Geese, the Pokemon murder Ash. He's just a ghost now. And his little hat flies up in the air. And Pikachu jumps back out of the ball. And where does the hat land, Geese?
In Pikachu's hands.
I thought it landed on his head. But then
Maybe
Dom's
that.
head.
Who's to say?
who's to say? Pikachu's crying. Pikachu's screaming. And he shocks the evil away. He gets so upset, he just completely destroys all possession just with electricity up in the sky. All the Pokemon are coming back to their senses. And he starts crying into Ash's hat, and he's screaming. And we see Ghost Ash. He's back in the black and white world, the world of no Pokemon. He's running through fields of color with the memories of Pikachu. And Pikachu can see like a magic, mystical, sparkly thing forming in front of him. The crystal sparkly portal. As we've discovered in Pokemon movies, Pokemon tears are magical, and that is why this is all happening. They can reverse death, apparently.
So why don't they just like
Harry Potter?
Yeah, I guess so.
This is like it's stage 2 all over again.
It's stage 2.
It takes 2 all over again.
Yes. Yeah, I think they ripped that from Pokemon.
Yeah.
We see the crystal sparkly portal, and Pikachu drops the hat and jumps in, and he flies through the rainbow black and white world, and he lands in black and white Ash's arms when Ash grabs Pikachu in this black and white world. Just like the Wizard of Oz. Ash turns back into color, and he comes back, and he's alive again. Everybody's so happy to see him. And the feather materializes in his hand, and Marshadow leaves. Ash runs up to the rainbow rock. He places the feather on top of it, and Geese, who shows up now that the feather has been purified and is in the rock?
Hello.
Researcher Bon
riding
Jovi.
on that ho-oh? It's John Stamos.
And John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena and John Stamos.
You couldn't see them
on the
before.
Ho-Oh. Team Rocket sees Ho-Oh. They're still on the side of the mountain. They get scared and they fall off, and I believe that is the last we see of them.
Yep.
So Ho-Oh's flying around. He's doing just like Tapu Lele, the healing dust, and all the little Pokemon are hit by this little Aurora Borealis, and they're all good to go now. No more scratches. They're all clean and healed. Ho-Oh perches on top of Rainbow Rock, and Ash wants to battle it. Pikachu, I choose you. The title of the movie, almost. 10,000 volts, and Ho-Oh uses Sacred Flame, and the Pokemon battle music kicks in, and we see from a distance fire and electrical blasts for miles. It's very sick, if you ask me, in terms of Pokemon battle stuff. After that, we cut to a Pokemon Center. We hear unbelievable keyboard foley. Just Nurse Joy's typing away, Geese. She's typing and it sounds so good. Pikachu needs some healing after that giant battle with Ho-Oh, a legendary Pokemon. Unbelievable he survived. Ho-Oh must have been going easy on him, I can tell you that much. Joy does not believe that Pikachu fought Ho-Oh because it is an unbelievable assertion, claim to make. We cut back to Bon Jovi by Rainbow Rock, just going on to himself about rainbow heroes, and Marshadow's just watching him. Then we cut to Cross talking to the kids. Like any good anime, he's kind of now their friends, and he's no longer a jerk. And Cross says to the kids, "Don't you lose to anybody else." And then finally, Geese, we cut to the kids at a crossroads. There's 3 paths, Geese. Do you remember what the kids want to go do now?
Verity, I think, wants to go back home.
She's got to see her mom.
Sorrel wants to do more research about legendary Pokemon, I think.
Yeah, he wants to go find the legendary birds. So Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. He's going to go do that. And Ash decides, well, I don't think he decides now. He said this forever, but he says, I'm going to be a Pokemon master.
The very best. Like no
There
one
ever
ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
Pokemon.
Keep going.
I'm just trying to... Yeah, keep going, Tom. I'm trying to read this.
That's
Say
what
the
I
rest of the
remember.
song.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Pokemon! God, that echo lasts for a while, huh?
Boy, that's
And
long
scene.
Yeah.
This-
And
I-
scene.
okay. But first,
They
a
could have
battle. Nah, they're not going to battle. We're going to have a montage of the announcer. This is very funny to me. Tell me if they didn't do this in English. But the announcer now, at the end of the film, explains what a Pokemon is. In case...
I do not think they do that in English.
There, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember.
So,
Yeah.
in case you didn't gather it for the first hour and a half or whatever, the announcer says, this is what a Pokemon is. And we get to a montage with some Lapras and Slowkings and Ladybot and Lugia, setting up for the next movie. And the announcer's going on about how this world is full of strange and mysterious creatures. And we go to all the different regions. We go to Gen 2, Johto, a Chikorita, a Poochyena, and a Mightyena, and a Cleffa, and a Pichu, and a Smoochum, and a Togepi, and an Igglybuff, and a Magby. Then we're, that was both, by the way, as you notice, Generation 3 Pokemon. That's Hoenn. And then we
Did
cut
you
to
just
Sinnoh,
say-
Gen 4. No, Togepi.
Okay.
Then we cut to Sinnoh with Magnezone and Torterra and Licky Licky and Combee and Drifblim. And then we cut to Unova with Girder and Conkeldurr and Gothita and Gothorita and Gothitelle and Pansage and Mijumaru, a.k.a. Oshawott in English. Golurk. Then we cut to Kalos with Go-Goat and Skidoo and Flabebe and Spritzy and Xerneas. And then we're in the sky
Agumon,
and the seas and the
Leomon.
forest and the towns. And then we cut to Alola Geese. Who do we see in Alola?
Alola.
I know you know these folks.
Yeah, they took this directly from the introduction of Sun and Moon. The scene
Yes.
of Rowlet, Litten, and Poplio.
And Alolan Executor, and then Tapu Koko shows up. And then because this was made during the Alola season, so that's all the regions we know of at that point. So we saw all the regions of Pokemon. And then we cut to Ash's room with his mom and a big old Snorlax plush that's cute. And the announcer going on about how Pokemon and people live together and they are bonded. Ash runs into the horizon with Pikachu, and a rainbow goes over them. And that is the end of the movie. In the credits, we see some old familiar faces such as Brock, Misty, Tracy, Sketch, May, Dawn, Iris, Silent, Clement, Bonnie, Serena, Verity, and Piplup watching Wings. Watching Wings? What does that mean?
That's a sitcom from the 80s. It's actually really good. It's set in a small airport.
Oh, yeah. Starring, what's his name? Tom, he was,
Tommy.
no, what's
Tom
that guy's
Waffle.
name? Because I know that actor's name, but I just can't remember it.
Oh,
Who stars in Wings?
Steven Weber?
No, not Steven Weber. It's like
Tony Shalhoub?
Tom Arnold,
Tim Daly.
Nope. I'm gonna recognize the name when I hear it, Aaron.
Thomas
the
Hayden?
actor I'm talking about. John Forsythe. What's his name? The main character of Wings.
There is no anybody who
John
you're thinking.
Stossel.
Steven Weber.
No. It's like
There's
Craig
Tim
something.
Daly, Steven
Craig's-
Weber,
Who's a famous Craig? Craig,
It's Steven Weber.
Craig
Nelson,
T.
Craig T.
Church.
Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. Thank you, Geese.
Tim
Wow,
Daly?
that is not Wings, Guyera. That is not even close.
Yeah,
to
so
it.
it's Tim
Craig T.
Daly.
Nelson was in Coach, and
I
the
was
guy who
thinking
does
of
the
Coach.
voice,
I was
the
thinking
guy
of
who does
Coach.
the voice of Patrick, plays a character on there called Dauber.
Oh.
Yeah,
Thomas A. Church is in Wings, apparently.
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Wings, it was Wingle, a Pokemon. Piplup is watching, and Verity are watching Wingle from a boat. Sorrel and Lucario see the Articuno they've been after, and Cross is eating at a campfire with Lycanroc and Incineroar. And then we see Pikachu and Ash walking through the credits, and we see, this is very cute. I don't know if you guys watch the credits, but we see a bunch of murals. We see a bunch of murals drawn by kids that submitted them into the movie. So there are all these really adorable
cool.
pictures. And then we see every single Pokeball, like, Poke Ultra, Great, Love, Quick Ball, like they all go up the credits. It's very sick. Then we see Team Rocket in a balloon with Wobbuffet, the famous Meowth balloon, and they're watching Ash try to catch a Heracross. And Tom, that's what you've been waiting for this whole time was Heracross.
Yep,
He's in the very
Heracross.
end
My
credits.
favorite canonical Pokemon that's not Bulbasaur.
And then as the credits finally end after the Heracross, we see Ho-Oh flying, and then he drops more feathers. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm impressed you stayed the whole time. I did not think you could sit through that many pages of plot, but I congratulate all of you. Good work.
I'm gonna say
Everyone.
thank you.
Good job, everyone.
I paid more attention to this podcast than I did the movie.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, we did it! We made it.
we did it. Be sure to go to responsemessage.com to see
Hold
our
on,
stuff.
Tom. We're not doing wrap up stuff yet.
We're out of here. Bye.
Thank you all for listening to this very special episode of Look, Listen with Geese and Guyera. Tom, why don't you tell the Clambos where they can find your podcast?
You can find it on blankwaveform.com and also responsemessage.com. A word that Geyer won't let me say on this podcast.
It's waveform.com.
Oh my
That's
God, Aaron.
waveform.com.
Oh my
Look,
God. Look.
you can understand what is okay, so just look it up for yourself.
Or just responsemessage.com. You also can find me at garfield.com.
Get your parents' permission if you're under the age of 13 and log on to garfield.com. That's all they say it in like kids shows, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys fixed your terrible Twitter username? Response MSGPOD?
Nope.
No.
Gotta fix that one.
And we're never gonna. Just go to responsemessage.com. All the links are there.
Perfect. Sick.
Both and whatever Aaron's Twitter or Twitch name is now.
Who even
Yeah,
knows?
that's fine. We'll get there. Kiss King was taken, so I mean that's just we're probably just gonna go back to Professor Ticklebits. We'll see.
It's fine.
Who's to say?
Probably Probably me saying it's just going to stay the original, I would guess. The whole rebrand, I mean, come on. That's how everybody knows him as. People love saying it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's evocative.
if you think there's something wrong with that, that's a you problem. That's your filthy mind. Your mind's in the gutter.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Keith Squared, for our podcast artwork. You can check Keith out at twitch.tv/Keith Squared. Thank you, Aaron, for doing our boilerplate.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Aaron. Guyera, tell the clambos how they can support us.
I was like, the way you said Guyera was as if there was a cue I missed. But, okay, clambos, please, for the love of goodness gracious, I have no money. I'm trying so hard to afford the Switch OLED Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Please go to anchor.fm and support us. Go to looklistencast.com and you'll see it there, and you can support us monthly. But thank you to all our supporters. Hey, please make sure to recommend this podcast to your friends. And since it's family friendly, no swear words, you can tell your babies and your grandma.
Grandmas love us.
Aaron, how do grandpas feel about us?
Grandpas are ambivalent, which is about as much as you can get out of a grandpa. So
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a grandpa who's been like, I'm really into podcasts now.
but there's going to be soon because I am
Podcast
getting
grandpa.
old. That's me. That's my new Twitch
This is my
username.
favorite.
That is my new
indie band.
Twitch username.
Podcast grandpa.
Is it available? It is available.
Grab it.
I might have to
Okay.
grab it.
Aaron, as you're grabbing that, would you also use your other eyeball to read us a question this week from Elton John?
We've got a question from Elton's John in what looks like a Discord font. Guyera, hold it together. I'm going to read this question. Elton's
listening.
John would like to know, do you prefer Pokemon centers and marts separate or together?
It's a good question, Aaron, because as we all know, at some point in the Pokemon video games, they changed it from them being separate to them combining them, so it's more convenient. You can do your shopping and heal your Pokemon all in the same building. Now then, as to which I prefer, I guess together. I mean, there's nostalgia about them being separately, but it's just too convenient, Geese. I guess I'd prefer them in the same building.
It makes sense. If there's any kind of capitalism in this universe, then those things would merge.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think bought out who? Did Big Pokemart get it's like we're bringing the Pokemon centers into us, or was it who bought out who?
It's not that. It's just that the different regions all do it differently. I'm speaking canonically now, so you have to turn on suspension of disbelief because clearly video games are made one after the other, so gameplay improvements are,
I will never do that, Guyera.
But canonically speaking, you would say the Japanese regions had them separately, but over here in, let's say, they decided, what if we had one building? Maybe they didn't have enough space.
Or maybe time has passed in the Pokemon world where
there is a timeline.
Together.
Yeah.
If Pokemarts are anything like Walmart, Walmart is getting into healthcare, so
well, there you go.
There's our dystopian future.
All right, time to end everything in this podcast.
Pokemon Generations 1 and 3 take place at the same time, and Generations 2 and 4 take place at the same time.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for that question.
I have that knowledge in my brain now.
It's good to know.
Thank you for that question, Elton's John.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Everybody go listen to Tom and Aaron talk about Indianapolis Jones over on responsemessages.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have I'm just going to tease that we're going to have a special new way to pick what movie series we're going to watch. We'll probably announce that on the next episode of Response Message.
Very exciting.
Spoilers, it's me and Tom fist fight.
Yep. There we go.
All right, that's sick. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, maybe we'll watch Ultra Adventures next week. Maybe we'll watch something else. Who's to say? What are we going to talk about, Geese? Who knows? Goodbye.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Geese, are you going to say anything?
Geese, say goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Goodbye. Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.